Hi everyone, good evening. Can you see my screen, everyone? Can you confirm anyone? Am I audible? Fine. Yeah. So in the last session we discussed about servers, server infrastructure, right? Architecture. First phase of implementation, second phase of implementation, third phase of implementation, and latest one which is Docker architecture, right? So these are all we discussed. Fine. Yeah. So this terminology is very important for DevOps and cloud engineers in real-time projects while working on cloud infrastructure. So this terminology is very important, right? Yeah. So whatever terminology we are using here, yeah, same terminology we use in cloud also. Fine. Yeah. So currently we are not using physical environments, right? So most of the project teams they migrated their infrastructure to cloud. So very few project teams are using physical servers, physical network, physical devices, right? Yeah. Most of the organizations they migrated to cloud. Fine. Yeah. So today we are going to discuss about networks, right? So servers, types of servers, right? And the server client model and architecture, operating system, what is operating system, types of operating systems. These are all we covered yesterday, right? Yeah. Today we are going to discuss about networking part. Fine. Yeah. Let's get started. Yeah. Anyone having any questions so far? PPTs will not be shared. I'll share with you one PDF document. Okay. PDF will be shared. PPT will not be shared. PPT, PDF documents I upload into Google Classroom. So we created one Google Classroom, which is Google Drive. So everyone will get the access. Okay. So Monday onwards, you'll get access. Fine. Yeah. Networking, right? So anyone newly joined before going to start this? Anyone newly joined? Please share your WhatsApp number and email address in the chat so that yeah, I provide you previous recordings. My mobile number already shared with you 96422111711. So you can ping me. I'll provide you all the previous recordings. Okay. Yeah. Fine. So what is networking? Anyone having idea what is networking? What is networking? Anyone? Networking is a group of servers, group of devices which are hosted in the data center, server room. Fine. Now, see here. A computer network is a system in which multiple computers are connected to each other to share information and resources. Right? Yeah. So we can connect the servers through either LAN network or WAN network or Wi-Fi to share the resources and to copy the data from one place to other place, right? Yeah. So computer network is a system in which multiple computers are connected to each other to share information and resources, right? See here. So this is LAN connectivity. LAN connectivity, right? Local area network connectivity. So normally, so currently we are using Wi-Fi only everywhere, right? Earlier we used to use LAN, WAN, MAN, different networks are there. So those we'll discuss. Okay, fine. So what are the characteristics of computer network? See here, share resources from one computer to another, create files and store them in one computer, access those files from other computers connected over the network. So why we need to store the data into central computer? Yeah, so I'll explain that. Next one, connect a printer, scanner or fax machine to one computer within the network and let other computers of the network use the machines available over the network, right? So normally, yeah, for example, if you take any hospital or school, so the data will be stored in the server, central computer, right? The data everyone access through network, right? So due to this, what will happen? Costing will be reduced, right? For example, there is a school. In school, 5 floors are there, 5 floors, right? So instead of configuring printers in each floor, what we will do? We can configure one printer in second or third floor So we can configure as a network printer so that we can print the documents from any floor, right? So when we send the request, right, the request will be processed. Request will be processed, right? Yeah. So due to that, what will happen? Costing will be reduced. Hardware costing will be reduced, right? Yeah. Hardware devices required to set up a computer network. So what are the devices required here? Network cables required, distributors required, routers required, internal network cards required, and also external network cards required. So these are the devices to set up the network, right? Yeah, let's go with one by one. Network cables. So currently we are using one cable which is very popular cable, which is RJ45. Network cables are used to connect computers. The most commonly used cable is category 5 cable, which is RJ45 cable. So normally when we buy any router, along with the router we get one cable, right, which is RJ45 cable. So by using color coding, we can clamp that, we can clamp the connector, and we can connect to our laptop or desktop, right? Yeah. See here, this is the RJ45. So here we have color coding. There is a, yeah, fine. So this is RJ45 cable. Here we have color coding is there, right? See here, different color coding is there. So by using color coding, we can connect this clamp and we can attach to our system. Okay, so that yeah, so we can communicate. So normally we use a Wi-Fi. So yeah, when we use cable, the speed will be increased. Okay, yeah, distributors. See here, a computer can be connected to another one via a serial port. But if you need to connect many computers to produce a network, this serial connection will not work. See here, this is, we can say, loopback adapter. This we can say loopback adapter. Next one is a router. What is router? A router is a type of device which act as the central point among computers and other devices that are a part of the network. It is equipped with a holes called ports. So computers and other devices are connected to a router using network cables. Nowadays, routers comes in wireless modes using which computers can be connected without any physical cable. Right? Currently, most of the project teams we are using yeah, wireless routers, right? So normally in breakout area, cafeteria, and any area in the office premises, we can carry our laptop and we can use the laptop because everywhere we are using routers, right? See here. So this is wireless router, right? Yeah. So by using this, we can connect our network. This is not internet router, wireless network router. Okay. Network cards. So when we talk about network card, so network card is a necessary component of computer without which a computer cannot be connected over a network. It is also known as the network adapter or network interface card (NIC). Most branded computers have network card pre-installed. Network cards are two types: internal and external network cards. Normally, without this card, we cannot connect our networks. Right? See here, internal network cards. Motherboard has a slot for internal network card, yeah, where it is to be installed. Internal network cards are two types, which are first type uses peripheral component interconnect PCA card, and the second one is ISA, industry standard architecture, right? So two types of cards are available. Fine. See here, this is the PCI card. Normally motherboard, so earlier we used to use desktops, right? Desktop or laptop, every system will have motherboard, right? So earlier we used to install this external card. This is used to install this central card. This is the additional card, PCI card. So instead of the motherboard, we used to insert and we used to install the drivers, respective drivers, so that, so yeah, we used to configure by using drivers. Okay, yeah, this is a PCI card. External network cards. External network cards are two types: wireless and USB based. Wireless network cards need to be installed into the motherboard. However, no network cable is required to connect to the network. See here, this is the black one is the external network card. So we can connect this external network card to the internal card. By using this, we used to communicate. Okay, so these are all traditional devices. Currently, we are not using, but this terminals is very important. So currently, we are not using this physical. These are the wireless or USB or so these are all not using, but this terminal is very important here. Okay, see here, this is the USB card, right? So USB card is used to use and connect via USB port. So computers automatically detect USB card and can install the drivers required to support the USB network and network card automatically, right? Normally, so while traveling, we used to use this USB cards, right? So currently, we are not using everywhere Wi-Fi available, right? Yeah. So what are the important types of computer networks available? So four types of networks available. These are very important. See here. First one is a PAN, LAN, WAN, MAN. So what is PAN? What is LAN? What is WAN? What is MAN? Let us try to understand one by one. So first one, PAN. PAN is a personal area network. Personal area network, right? So here, so PAN is a computer network formed around a person. It generally consists of a computer, mobile, or personal digital assistant. PAN can be used for establishing communication among these peripheral devices for connecting to a digital network and the internet. Right. So normally, while working on while using any laptop or desktop, we connect a Bluetooth keyboard, Bluetooth mouse, Bluetooth headset, Bluetooth mic, Bluetooth printer, Bluetooth scanner, right? Yeah. So these are all comes under PAN. So PAN networks are relatively very secure, but there are disadvantages are there here. So distance limitation. So more than 10 meters it will not work. Okay. So here these are the PAN devices, personal area network devices. Okay. Around the person, within the room, within the floor, this will work. If you move to other place, other room, other area, it will not accessible, right? So keyboards, mouse, and printers, scanners, headsets, these are all we can enable Bluetooth and we can use them. Next one, what are the characteristics of PAN network? So yeah, it is mostly personal devices network equipped within a limited area. So allows you to handle the interconnection of ID devices at the surrounding of a single user. PAN includes mobile devices, tablet, and laptop. Advantage of PAN. So PAN networks are relatively secure and safe because there is no distance, right? Very secure. It offers only short range solution up to 10 meters, strictly restricted to smaller area, right? So disadvantages, distance limits, maximum 10 meters only it will work, right? So this is the personal area network. Next one is what is LAN? LAN stands for local area network. It is a group of network devices that allows communication between various connected devices. It covers the smallest areas such as colleges, schools, hospitals, so on. Right? Yeah. So LAN normally for LAN connectivity we use the RJ45 cables and also we use fiber optic cables. See here. So this is the LAN connectivity. Yeah. What are the characteristics here? It is a private network, completely private network, our own network, right? So LAN operates at a relatively higher speed compared to other WAN systems. Normally, when we use routers, internet routers, along with the router, we use one cable, right? Normally, cable we don't use, but whenever you want to book any Tatkal tickets, whenever you want to have any higher speed, so we can connect the cable. So when we connect the cable, the speed will be increased because LAN is higher speed compared to other WAN system, right? Yeah. So advantage of LAN, see here. So computer resources like hard disks, or DVD RAMs, and printers can be shared locally in network. So this significantly reduces the cost of hardware purchases. So because, for example, we already discussed this. So normally, if you, for example, there is a school or there is a hospital, so different floors are there, five, six floors are there. So instead of configuring printers, scanners in all floats, what we will do, we can configure one printer or one scanner as a network printer, network scanner. So we can print documents from any floor. We can send the request from any floor, right? Yeah. So due to that, what will happen? Hardware costing will be reduced, right? So data of all network users can store on a single hard disk of the server computer. It will be easy to manage data at only one place, which makes data more secure, right? Normally, data will be stored in the servers. When we store the data into server, what will happen? Data will be secured, right? So we can protect the data. Disadvantages of LAN. Unauthorized users can access critical data of an organization in case LAN admin is not able to secure centralized data repository, right? So if the LAN admin is not capable, so definitely hackers will enter into the network, right? Yeah, this is LAN connectivity. Next one, MAN. So Metropolitan Area Network. See here, MAN stands for Metropolitan Area Network. It covers the largest area than LAN, such as small towns, cities, etc. MAN connects two or more computers that resides within the same or completely different cities. Right? Metropolitan Area Network. Within the city are different cities. Right? So when a geo launch, they used to configure the cables instead of the road. Right? They cut the road. They cut the road. They insert the cable, right? So yeah, within the city or different cities also they configured, right? Yeah, see here, this is the man connectivity. Schools, hospitals, colleges, factories, right? Normally we configure man. What are the characteristics of man? See here, it mostly covers towns and cities in a maximum 50 kilometers range. Mostly used medium is optical fiber, so the distance limitation is higher, right? That is why, so they use optical fiber cables. Optical fiber is a bit costlier compared to RJ45. So what are the advantages of MAN? See here, it offers fast communication using higher speed carriers like fiber optic cables. It provides excellent support for an extensive size network and greater access to WANs. A MAN network mostly includes some areas of city or an entire city, right? So disadvantages of MAN. See here, you need more cables to establish MAN connection from one place to another. In MAN network, it is thought to make the system secure from hackers, right? So normally when we configure MAN connectivity, so more distance, right? Yeah. So here we need to yeah, provide the security. Otherwise, hackers will be enter into the network, and they can data will be leak, right? Yeah. So these are the disadvantages of MAN. So next one is WAN, wide area network. Here, wider network. It covers a large area than LAN as well as MAN, such as country and continent, etc. So WAN is expensive and should or might not be owned by one organization. One organization they cannot bear. The costing is very higher. So that is why group of companies they take this WAN connectivity. Satellite medium is used for wide area network. So normally country to country, continent to continent. So when we want to configure network, so they use the satellite communication only, satellite network only, right? See here, this is a combination of LAN, WAN, and a MAN. See here, characteristics. Any organization can form its global integrated network using WAN. Advantage of WAN. So WAN helps you to cover a larger geographic area. Therefore, business offices situated at longer distance can easily communicate. So yeah, WAN connections work using radio transmitters and receivers built into client devices. Normally, so radio transmitters and receivers we use in WAN connectivity to communicate from one network to other network. Yeah, disadvantage of WAN. So yeah, initial setup cost of investment is very higher in the WAN. So because country to country, continent to continent, right? It is difficult to maintain the WAN's network. You need skilled technicians and network administrators. Normally, so when we have more distance, definitely, yeah, it is very risky, right? So we require more skilled technicians and network administrators. There are more errors and issues because of the wide coverage and the use of different technologies, right? So these are the WAN disadvantages. See here, it is a combination of LAN, WAN, and MAN, right? City to yeah, city to so different cities between different cities and country to country, we can establish this connectivity, right? So any questions up to here? Four different networks, right? PAN, LAN, MAN, WAN. Any questions up to here? Anyone? So these are all very basics. These are all very important. So everyone, yeah. So understand these basics before going to cloud, right? So tomorrow we are going to start AWS. So before going to AWS, we need to understand these basics. If you understand these basics, you can easily understand AWS platform. Clear right up to here? Anyone? Any questions? Anyone up to here? Fine. Next one. What is an IP address? What is an IP address? IP address. Anyone having idea what is IP address? Anyone what is IP address? Anyone having idea? Fine. IP address is a unique address for every system, every device like server, server, desktop, laptop, or router, or switch, or any device will have one unique address, right? For example, if I go and check in my system, command prompt. So if I give IP config, see here. So this is my IP address. Every laptop or desktop or every server or every system, every router or every network device will have unique address, right? So this IP should not be overlap, right? So here I am using IP version 4, IP version 4, IPv4, right? Yeah. So what is IPv4? What is IPv4? So currently we are using IP version 4. Maybe going forward, we use IP version 6. Going forward, we use IP version 6, right? Yeah. So what is the difference between IP version 4 and IP version 6? Let's try to understand. Yeah. Let's try to understand IP addresses. For example, there is a IP version 4 versus IP version 6. Okay. Yeah, IP version 4 is a 32-bit address. It is a 32-bit address, right? IP version 6 is a 128-bit address, right? So 32-bit address, what does it mean? 32-bit address, what does it mean? For example, there is IP 192.168.0.10, for example. This is the IP version 4, right? Yeah. So here we have four octets are there. See here, these are the four octets. Four octets. This is one octet. Yeah. So here we have four octets. This is second octet and the third octet, fourth octet, right? So we have four octets are there. So each octet is having 8 bits. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. right? So each octet is 8 bits. 8 into, yeah, 8 into 4, 32-bit address. Okay. So this is 128 address, 128 address. So this address I'll show you. See here. This is the IP version 4. This is the IP version 6. See here. This is the IP version 6. Here we have 128 bit address. Got it right, everyone? 128 bit address. Currently, we are using IP version 4. So maybe going forward, we use IP version 6, right? Yeah, and also IP classes are there. IP classes. So what are the classes available? Anyone having idea? What are the classes available? What are the classes? Yeah. See here, IP classes. IP class A, class B, class C, class D. 4 classes are there. Just a minute, please. Yeah, we have 4 classes are there. IP class A, class B, class C, class D, right? So class A 1 to 126. Class A 1 to 126. For example, 10.0.0.1. What is the class? Which class this IP address? Anyone having idea? 10.0.0.1. This is the class A, right? So because class A is 1 to 126, right? Class A is 1 to 126. This is class A, right? This is class A. Fine. Yeah. Next one is yeah. So this is class A, and class B starts from 128 to 191. Class B starts from 128 to 191, right? So for example, there is an IP which is yeah, class A example is 10.0.0.1. This is the class A. Class B address is 172.17.0.1. This is the class B address. And a class C, IP class C, right? So starts from 192. See here, it starts from 192. It starts from 192. For example, there is an IP, so which is 192.168.0.10, for example. Okay, this is class C. And a class D also there. Normally, class D we don't use. This is mainly for government sectors, defense, government, defense, right? They use this class D, right? So this is very high secured network. Normally, normal people, normal organizations, they don't use this. Okay, defense, militaries, they use this class. Yeah, it starts from 124. For example, sorry, 224, 225 dot 10 dot 10 dot 100. This is the class D range. Okay, so these are the classes. Currently we are not no need to worry about these classes. So because AWS will take care of this, AWS will be taking care of this. Okay, we don't need to worry about earlier. So physical environments, physical data centers, network administrators, they used to design, they used to calculate this IP addresses, and they used to design. Currently we are not using this because so AWS will be taking care of this all ranges. Okay. Yeah. So as a DevOps engineer, what we will do, we can manage the AWS infrastructure. So the infrastructure already configured by AWS. Okay. So in AWS, we can have 20% of the scope only. In AWS, we can maintain 20% of the resources, 20% of the scope. 80% of the resources will be taken care by AWS only, right? So because servers are hosted in their data center, right? We will not access physically, right? So we have 20% scope only. 80% resource, 80% scope will be, so the AWS team will be maintain the 80% of the resources. Only 20% we can maintain. Okay. So because virtually we can access, virtually we can configure the servers, virtually we can control the servers, right? So if any major issues happen, we need to raise a ticket with the AWS. They will take care. Fine. Any questions up to here, anyone? Anyone having any questions up to here? Yes, that is loopback adapter. Yes, 127.0.0. Yes, loopback. What is loopback? What is loopback? Vivekananda. What is loopback? Our system. We'll see that. While working on cloud, I'll show you what is loopback. Don't worry. Okay. While working on AWS, we'll see that loopback adapters, loopback addresses. Fine. Yeah. Next one. So here, when I check my IP address along with the IP, subnet also there. Subnet. What is subnet? We'll see that. Okay. Subnet I'll show you. And a gateway. This is the router address. Router address. Okay. We'll see that. Fine. Now let us go back to slides here. What is an IP address? See here. IP address is a IP stands for Internet Protocol. An IP address is unique address that identifies a device on the internet or a local network, which is the set of rules governing the format of data sent via internet or local network. So every device will have their unique address. IP should not be overlap, right? Next one, types of IP addresses. What are the types available? So there are various classifications of IP addresses available here. Okay. Now, first one is private IP address. Normally, any server or laptop or desktop, how many IPs will be there? Anyone? How many IPs will be there for server or laptop or desktop? Anyone? How many IPs will be there? Desktop, how many IPs will be there? Desktop or laptop? Srinivas. Server 2 IPs you are saying, right? What are those? Server you are saying 2 IPs. What are those? Srinivas. Server will have private and public. Physical servers. I'm talking about physical servers. Physical servers. I'm talking about physical. Dynamic static. Those are types. Those are IP is only one IP, right? So I'm talking about here different way. See here. Private IP. What is private IP? What is public IP? Explain. Okay. Normally in real-time projects or in our laptop or desktop, we use only one IP address. Every system will have only one IP. Every laptop or desktop or server. Okay, only one IP, which is network IP. I'm talking about physical devices. Okay, so when we talk about cloud servers, two IPs will be there, which are private IP address and also public IP address. What is private IP? What is public IP? Anyone having idea? Real time guys. What is private IP? What is public IP? Yeah. Now, for example, this is my AWS console. See here. This is my AWS console. right? So if I go to servers here, EC2, EC2 is a elastic compute cloud. So from tomorrow onwards, we are going to start this. Okay. Yeah. Click on instances. See here. These are this is server, Jenkins server. I have a Jenkins server in my console. See here. So for this Jenkins server, I have public IP address and also private IP address. So in cloud environment, any cloud, not only AWS, not only Azure, not only Google Cloud, right? Every cloud platform will have two address. Every cloud server is having two addresses: public IP and private IP address. Okay. So what is the use of public IP and private IP? So private IP is a internal IP. For internal communication, we use the private IP address. Public IP normally we use in cloud to connect our servers. To connect our servers. Okay. So private IP we can use for communication, internal communication. So public IP to connect our cloud server we use. Okay. Yeah. So in public IP, there are two types of IPs available, like dynamic IP and static IP. What is dynamic? What is static? Anyone? What is dynamic? What is static? What is dynamic IP? What is static IP? Anyone having idea? Okay. Static is fixed IP. Dynamic? Okay. Fine. So dynamic IP. So dynamic IP is it is yeah, normally in real-time projects. Okay. When we assign dynamic IP to the system, so the IP will be changed dynamically whenever we start server. Whenever we stop server, whenever we start server, the IP will be changed dynamically. Every time IP will be changed because the backend there will be a DHCP server. So these are all very important terminology. This is very important. While working on AWS servers, we go deep dive. Okay. While working on AWS, so tomorrow we are going to start AWS. So from tomorrow onwards, everyone required laptop internet connectivity. So daily basis, everyone should practice. Okay. I give you some tasks also. So you need to perform the tasks. Okay. Yeah. So tomorrow onwards, so practical oriented. So today only theoretical. Okay. Up to today only theoretical. So from tomorrow onwards, more into practical. So 80%, 80 to 90% practical, only 10% theoretical. Okay. Yeah. So static address, dynamic address we are discussing. So dynamic IP is IP which change automatically when we start server. Because backend there will be a DHCP server. DHCP full form is dynamic host configuration protocol. In data center they maintain dynamic host configuration protocol server. So automatically that will take old IP and it will give new IP whenever we start server. Static IP is a permanent IP, fixed IP that will not be changed. Okay. So what is dynamic, what is static? We practically will see in the cloud environment. Okay. So along with these two IPs, along with this private IP, public IP, one more IP will be there for the cloud servers. One more IP is available. What is that IP? Third IP. Along with public, private, one more IP available in the cloud. What is that? Anyone having idea? Real time guys. Along with public IP, private IP, one more IP is there. Not floating IP. One more IP is there, which is elastic IP. Elastic IP. Elastic IP that provided by AWS. See here. What is this? Anyone? Elastic IPs. Okay. Along with public IP, private IP, one more IP is there, which is the elastic IP. How can we generate elastic IP? How can we assign to the server? How can we use the elastic IP? What is the use of elastic IP? We'll see that practically. We'll work on elastic IPs. Okay. While working on AWS. Fine. Next one is what is subnet? What is subnet? Anyone having idea what is subnet? What is subnet? Anyone having idea? Subnet is a smaller network, small network, subnetwork instead of a large network. So why we require subnets? We'll see that. Okay. See here, these are the small networks. See here, subnets, small subnets. Why we require the small networks, small subnets? Because we have three types of servers: development servers, QA servers, production servers. Right. So all the servers are in same subnet. So when we configure on all the servers in same subnet, they can communicate each other. They can communicate each other, right? Yeah. So for example, in production servers, there are database servers. If you allow all the servers to communicate, there may be chances to leak the data. That is why we can divide into groups. Development servers one group, QA servers one group, pre-prod one group, production servers one group. Like that, we can divide. So when we divide as a subnet, we can control the inbound traffic, incoming traffic. Okay. Yeah, that we will go deep dive while working on AWS. Fine. Yeah. Next one is what is network switch? See here, a switch is a device in a computer network that connects other devices together. Multiple data cables are plugged into a system, plugged into a switch to enable communication between different network devices. Okay. See here, this is the traditional switch. Currently, physically we are not using here. AWS data centers, they are using physical switches. Okay. Yeah. So backside of the switch, we have ports. These ports we can say RJ45 connectors. Okay. Next one, gateway. What is gateway? Gateway is a router. So if you want to communicate from one network to other network, see here, this gateway will help you to communicate from one network to other network. See here, this network address is 10.0.0.0/8, 20.0.0.0/8. These are the ranges. These ranges we'll discuss while working on AWS. Okay. So from one range to other range, if you want to communicate, so gateway is required here. Okay. Next one, firewall. What is firewall? Anyone? Anyone having idea? Firewall is a network security device. Okay. See here. Firewalls are network security systems that prevent unauthorized access to a network. It can be a hardware or software unit that filters the incoming and outgoing traffic within the network. See here. This is the firewall. Yeah, it allows good traffic. So by creating firewall rules, we can enable the traffic here. Okay. Good traffic will be allowed by firewall and bad traffic will be denied by firewall. So by creating firewall rules, we can allow deny the traffic. So how to configure firewalls, how to configure security groups, we'll see in AWS. Okay. Practically we'll see that. Next one, what is replication? What is failover? What is load balancer? Replication. What is replication? Anyone? What is replication? Anyone having idea? Replication. So replication is a duplication. Replication is nothing but duplication, right? Yeah. Someone asking elastic IP, that is also IP. That is also one of the IP, right? So that IP we can get from data center, we can assign to the servers. That I'll show you practically while working on AWS services. Elastic IP is a IP. That is one type of IP. Okay. Yeah. Replication. What is replication? Replication is a duplication. From one zone to other zone, one region to other region, we can duplicate the data. Why we require duplication? Fault tolerance. For fault, if one zone is down, one region is down, data will be stored in other region. We can access that data. Okay. So failover. What is failover? See here, we can see that. Replication is a technology of copying and distributing data and database objects from one database to another and then synchronizing between databases to maintain consistency and integrity of the data. In most cases, replication is a process of reproducing the data at the desired targets. Here, this is the replication. One region to other region, primary region, second region. So data will be replicating to the second region. In case primary region is down, the user can access data from secondary region. Next one, failover. What is failover? So in case one region is down, other region automatically take care of the resources, data. That is nothing but failover. So what is load balancer? We'll see that in AWS. Load will be balanced. Application load will be balanced. That we'll see practically in AWS. Okay. See here, cluster. What is cluster? Anyone? Cluster and ఏంటండి? What is cluster? Anyone? Cluster is a group of devices or group of servers. What are the benefits of cluster? Fault tolerance, load balancing. Fault tolerance means in case one server is down, data will not be lost and application will not be down. Load balancing, the load will be equally balanced on node servers, right? So this concept is very, very important interview question also. Most of the interviewer ask you what is cluster, what is the use of cluster, load balancing and fault tolerance, right? Why Linux? Why the project teams are using most of the servers? They are using Linux servers. What is the importance here? Okay, see here. It is a free, open source, secure. So many distributions available, fast performance, right? No viruses, no malwares, no slowdowns, no crashes, no costly repairs. These are all, yeah, advantages of Linux. That is why most of the data centers, most of the companies, they're using Linux to host their applications. Clear, right, everyone? Any questions up to here, anyone? So these are all introductions. These are all basic things, right? Because before going to AWS, we need to understand these basics. So from tomorrow onwards, we are going to start AWS. Okay. Yeah. So this is my AWS console. So we discussed about zones regions, right? We discussed about zones and regions, right? So primary region, second region. So in AWS, we have these are the regions here. US East North Virginia, US East Ohio, US West North California, US West Oregon, Asia Pacific Mumbai, Osaka, Seoul, Singapore, Sydney, Tokyo, Canada Central, Europe data centers. So regions are nothing but data centers. Across the globe, AWS is having so many data centers are available, so many regions, right? So this regions zones will discuss while working on AWS. We'll go deep dive. Clear, right, everyone? Any questions up to here, anyone? Yeah. How elastic IP is different from DHCP? Elastic IP is also static IP. It will not come from DHCP. Difference between zones and regions while working on AWS, I explain. I'll show you practically. Don't worry. Don't hurry. Okay. If I explain right away, freshers, non-IT guys will be confused. Fine. Someone asking this question. You got it right? I think Taha asking this. I explain this. I'll show you practically. So both are data centers only. Both are data centers. A region is a primary data center. Zone is a DR data center. DR data center. What is DR data center? Disaster recovery data center. Okay. So practically we'll see that we can create zones regions. We can create VPCs on zones and regions. Okay. We'll see that practically. Zone is also data center. Region is also data center. Okay. Any other questions, anyone? Clear it, everyone? So if anyone not added into WhatsApp group, still people are not added into WhatsApp group, right? So if you are interested, you can add into WhatsApp group as soon as possible. So the link will be completely changed. So tomorrow onwards, we are going to start AWS. Fine. Yeah, we can wind up here. Yeah, tomorrow we are going to start AWS. Everyone should practice daily basis. Tomorrow onwards, practically we'll see all the services. Practically we'll work on services. Okay.